Hello, in the last video we confirmed that Python was installed on the system, and we said there were two ways to do that. The first way is by using the Python IDLE to check if Python codes are running on the system. Then the second way was to use the integrated development environment, the IDE, to confirm that you can run your code directly from the IDE. So this time we're also going to see another way to confirm that Python is running on your system, and that is on the command prompt. So to do that, you would open up a command prompt and you would use this command Python, then you put a space, then dash dash the version. So when you put this into command prompt, it's going to tell you what version you are using on your system. So we're going to run command prompt, and just like we saw on the slide is exactly what we have here. So we will type in the command to find out the version that we're using on the system. So I'll put type in Python dash dash version, just to confirm that Python is on the system, and it gave us the result as Python 3.9.0. so currently I'm running Python 3.9.0. so this proves that Python is running on my system. So we're going to run Python on command prompt. It's very possible to run it on command prompt instead of an integrated development environment, but it's advised to always use an IDE because it will be easier to deploy your code. So to run Python on command prompt, there are two ways to do that. We run it directly, number one, directly on the command prompt itself, and two, interpreting a Python file from the server. So we're going to see how we can run this on command prompt. The basic reason for running on command prompt is just to ensure that your Python code is working on your system, so when you need to test, you can easily deploy a small code within command prompt to check that. Another reason could be maybe you just want to test a snippet and you don't want to deploy the use of an IDE, so it will be easier to do that from the command prompt. So let's see how we can do this in these two ways. So the first way is running Python directly on the command prompt. So to do that, you would have to enter the Python console, and it means you need to type Python. Then when you enter the console, you can now run your code. So we're going to test this by running this code on the console, and it's going to be just a greeting, hello Mike, and we expect the Python console to print out hello Mike back to us. So we're back to command prompt and we're going to run Python console. So we'll type in Python and it brought us into the Python console. So let's run the greeting print, and we're going to put the string hello Mike, and we're going to run this, and it has given us our result, hello Mike. So the second way is interpreting a Python file. So remember in the previous video we actually created a file called stat, and we made sure that it was created as a Python file, and we were able to run the code from the IDE, that is our Visual Studio Code. So this time we're going to run it on command prompt, and we're going to create another file called hello, a Python file, and we're going to run it directly from command prompt. So to do that, this is how you apply that. You first create the file on the server or the location on your system, then you interpret the file from the command prompt by running Python on the particular file. So let's try our hands on that. So before we type in the code to access the Python file, we have to leave the Python console. So to do that, we'll just put exit and we are back out here. We also need to create the new Python file that we would need to access. So remember, we saved it in our C drive, and I'm gone back to my C drive and I saved it in a folder called Python project. So I'm going to open that. Now let's take notice of this. We are saving it on the C drive in a folder called Python. You would just click on this on Windows to see exactly where our file is stored. So here we have the start file, and we need to create a new Python file here, and we're going to call it hello. So to do that, we're going to open up our IDE to create the new file. So I'm going to open up my Visual Studio Code just to be sure it saves as a Python file. You can as well decide to copy and paste and maybe rename the file and clean up the file. But let me just do that from our IDE. So we created start, which is what you can see here. It's in the Python projects folder, which is what we can see here in C drive. So I'm going to create a new file and I'll call it hello. So I'll put hello.py, and it immediately recognizes that this is a Python file. So I'll save that, and it's opened up the file. So let me type in the code we want to run. Print, and we want to print hello Mike. That's what we want to run. And you know, if we can run it here from the terminal, just to confirm, and it produced the result here. Now we've created this. Let's save this, close that, and we also have it here. Let's minimize this and let's run it from here now. So we're going to run it this way: Python, then the name of the file, which is hello Python hello.py, and we'll run that and see. Now it gave me an error, and I'm happy that it's giving me this error, because I want you to notice that we are in the wrong folder, because we are addressing from the C drive the users folder, and that's the administrators folder. That's my folder. So I need to access the particular folder where this file is located before it can interpret the file. So let me go back. In other words, in the directory, I'm moving backwards, and I'm just going to use this, which says it should start from the beginning of the C drive. So it's going to try to access folders within the C drive. So I'm going to access the folder we created in the C drive where it's located, which is called Python projects. So cd Python projects, and I've been able to access the folder. So it has accessed the folder, and this is exactly where we are right now. So from here we can access the hello Python file. So let's do that. So it means we can now run the Python interpreter to interpret the hello file, and now we have it working with our output hello Mike. So this is how to run Python on command prompt.